So I started off this morning listening to Kobe's voice note that he shared with us, and that woke me right up. And now I wish I could harness his outer energy, whatever, to get started here. But I'll do my best. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for being here today. My name is Trav. We have got Quantic with us, guys. We're Web3 Matters, and fired up to be here today on this lovely Friday morning, evening, afternoon, night. Quantic, how you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing all right. Just checking while we speak if I am right on the camera. I don't know why you can see me, man. Like I can see me from other accounts on X, live on
Yes.
camera. Uh, we need to fix your setup, Trav.
We certainly do. I don't know what the heck is going on. Actually, no, I know exactly what's going on. It's the internet. Internet providers. I'm just gonna scratch my head here at your discretion. Yeah, no, it's all good. You're here. That's all that matters. I can hear your voice in my earlobes, and that makes me happy here. So, Quantic, tell us a little bit about what you've been up to today. I know you've been friggin' jet setting, traveling the world, all in the name of crypto. You want to give us a quick update?
Quick update. Yeah, I'm just right now on the house of my parents in the south of Chile. It's been lovely. But on top of that, I'm working with several teams that I'm trying to push to go to market after the hackathon that we have at DEX Connect with Flair. And I'm also in several other conversations about certain business opportunities
Wow.
that are cooking behind the scenes, and I will be sharing more about that during mid-December, not right now. So I'm pretty like locked in, focused, happy, and things are going like pretty solid. And I like it's completely different energy that I get from the market. What is your take on this? How do you feel about the market and how builders have a different perspective and whatnot, like your personal perspective as well?
Yeah, no, I think that's a really good question and a really good place to start this conversation there, Quant. Actually, okay, first things first, I knew you were cooking, but I didn't realize quite you were cooking at this level. So hats off to you, my friend. Um, it's an interesting state of affairs right now. I've actually in the background, I've been doing a ton of AMAs for different projects, like just a lot of hosting, a lot of connecting with builders here. And it's probably the most mature mindset I've ever encountered in terms of kind of like a market dip that I have in a very long time. People actually have that awareness these days of, yeah, while the market's not looking too hot, it's like now we're gonna take advantage of it and we're gonna keep on building harder, better, faster, stronger here. Are you also kind of feeling that sentiment?
Yeah, of course. Like I have always said that there is a very different sentiment that kind of splits because you will go into crypto Twitter and hear all these takes, all these opinions, and most of these people that are talking loud and saying a lot of things that are getting a lot of attention is from people that are not building anything, absolutely anything. They're just on the internet sharing opinions, and the people that are building the stuff, they have a very different perspective, but they are not like very active on social media or anything. They are actually building
Yeah.
stuff. Right? Someone has to do this thing. So from time to time, I get divided because of that, and I think that it's important to always have a little bit of perspective on both ends. They all have like very different relevant sources of information, and it's good to stay on top of things.
Absolutely, it is. Absolutely, it is. And I think that's another just important point for everyone to recognize here is not all of crypto is on X. A good. I'm curious. Do you any thoughts on kind of what percentage of Web3 builders are don't even engage with X? Do you have any kind of insight on that? I know it's a lot, but I'm curious. Is it like an overwhelming majority, or I don't know. I'd be curious to know.
What is the question about, like the numbers of people that are on X versus not on X?
In terms of like actual builders, like of all everyone building in crypto, what percentage of them actually have a presence on X?
Only like there are two classes from what I can say. The most more established builders, right? These people that are very well known in the space that have been building for a while. Hopefully Web3 Matters get to this point in which we get that recognition. I think we're there always doing stuff. And then there is these other people that are terminally online, buying tokens, finding the next 100x. And those are the two type of people, and all the people that are in between, starting their journey as a builder, perhaps, or just cooking something and not showing anything because they don't feel like it, or maybe they're not ready, whatever. Like these hackathon projects, a lot of them they're really making interesting solutions, but you will never hear from them. You just have to chase them and ask them, and at some point they might consider go to market or maybe not, which is quite interesting to me. Like I wouldn't never spend my time if I don't know that I'm going to go to market. But I'm 35 years old. I have a different view of life and perspectives.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. So what I would say is that probably what you see on CT is just this small bubble chamber, in
Mhm.
which you just have these two set of the spectrums. The more reputable, well-known builders, already like more established one way or another, and then the other ones are like the traders that are terminally online, and then you will have small dips of everyone in between, but just a small portion.
Right. So I think all that to say, I think maybe a couple morals of this story is that don't believe everything you see on X. Definitely do your own due diligence and build your theses off that, as opposed to what everyone else is saying, as opposed to what the greed or fear is looking like on X. And don't stop believing.
Don't stop
Maybe.
believing.
What
Um, it depends on what do you believe. What do you believe, Trav?
do I believe? I believe crypto's here to stay. I believe crypto is going to change the world. I believe that it's already solving real world problems for real people. And I believe that Quantic is the man.
Okay, those are very strong beliefs.
Yes.
So let me just take the first one, just to explain how absurd the logic is. You believe that crypto is here to stay, right?
Yes.
Um, I think that many people would argue they think the same, but then you look at their portfolios and you would ask them, do you have how much Bitcoin do you have on your portfolio? And they have literally zero. So how come a person that believes in crypto, that is terminally online, trying to make a 10x, a 100x, or whatever, owns zero Bitcoin, 4 years, staying poor, guaranteed staying poor? That's what not
Mm.
holding Bitcoin is.
Yeah.
Um, so there are convictions and things that you believe, and then how this manifests in reality. You might want to always check on that, right?
Beliefs, actions together is the alpha. I'm sorry, I'm losing my mind a little bit this morning here. You made a solid point. You called me right out here. I do have some Bitcoin, but nowhere near enough. Um, and I think what you're saying is put my money where my mouth is, and actually,
Yeah,
yeah, play
let
responsibly.
me clarify that because, okay, I'm saying Bitcoin because Bitcoin is like the number one proxy to crypto. When you talk
Yep.
about crypto, you talk about Bitcoin first and then everything else, Ethereum, Solana, and then everything else, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't make sense to believe in crypto and not have even a tiny piece of Bitcoin.
Yes.
Maybe, you want to have more exposure to other tokens that are more speculative because you think they're going to stay and it's going to be better for you. Okay, I get that, but I don't get that you own like zero Bitcoin.
Perfect. Okay, so I don't fall under that category then. Still, I could
No,
do
you don't.
better. And I do have a bunch of Ethereum too, actually. I've been recently stocking up on Ethereum as well. Of course, Solana. And that's pretty much, oh no, that's not entirely true. I'm just completely doxing my portfolio now, by the way. So if you guys tuned into Web3 Matters for this, then you're welcome. But
So
yes,
wait,
no,
wait a minute. I have a question there.
go for it.
So, do you think Ethereum is going to end up more like Microsoft or more like Linux? Because if you own a large exposure to Ethereum, there must be some sort of thesis behind.
Um, I'm not sure I fully understand the comparison. So Linux, is that more so just less kind of mainstream, more for like the underground devs sort of thing versus Microsoft is the one that really took off? Is that kind of the comparison you're trying to get to, or
There are two
I'm not?
very different like business
Yeah.
models behind, right? One went like open source, whatever, and the other one is just it's a corporation, it's a software
Mm,
corporation, right?
got you,
Um,
got you. So I've actually been learning a little bit more about Ethereum, and that's kind of been changing my views a little bit here. I like Ethereum just because there's a like it's one of those things that's just very established. It's kind of um the original what's the word I'm looking for? It's kind of there's a bit of a nostalgic reason, which is absolutely not a reason to invest in anything by any means. But they're kind of like tried, tested, and true. I guess to answer your question, are they going to be more like Microsoft or are they going to be more like Linux? I'm not sure that I have enough data to really respond to that. My hope is that it's going to be more like Linux. Um, but yeah, no, again, I don't really have enough insight to be able to say. I know you probably would have a heck ton more than I would, considering you put a lot of work in with some like legit layer twos. What do you think about that?
I don't know really. That's the honest answer.
Mhm.
I don't
Yeah,
know at this stage. I work at Flare. Flare is an EVM chain, and it's connecting liquidity and programmability. So you would have
yeah,
all of these people from the XRP side, and then you will have a bunch of applications that only exist because of Ethereum, one way or another.
yeah.
So it's a funny place to be, and that has led me to question things, how things work. Um, so my honest answer right now is I don't know yet. But I think that one has to look at the Ethereum thesis from a broader perspective, not just like, okay, it's like programmability, the second biggest market cap. Why not,
Yeah,
right? I think that the ecosystem right now is much broader, and the players that are serious players, um, they have different theses, and you should be hearing about them, right? I don't
yes,
know
I
what is the
should.
Solana thesis, by the way. Do you know what is the Solana thesis? Like why the Solana exists? I think it's because of scalability, right?
I think scalability is a huge part of it. Yes, just the speeds. I know the TPS, the actual like low gas fees as well. Um, from what I understand, they want to be kind of the sandbox for any builder anywhere to be able to kind of create whatever it is that they want to create, which I respect for sure. Um, Obviously, there's the downsides with Solana as well. Like it is susceptible to going down as well. But I mean, when you have Ethereum, you have the downside is, the gas fees can still get pretty high. Although they put a ton of work into that and respect to them for that. Um, but when it comes to theses, yeah, no, what I'm taking away from this conversation, Quantic, is that I definitely need to be putting more diligent thought into this as opposed to just holding it because they're the biggest kind of blue chips right now. And mind you, another part of the thesis was just the mainstream adoption that's happening between all three of them as well. That's certainly part of it. And my intention is to kind of cycle my funds through, over time, in the long term, cycle my bags and kind of keep on continue to kind of maybe lower the amount of Bitcoin, increase the amount of Solana, lower the amount of Solana, increase the amount of Ethereum, add a brand new token to the mix here as well. Just make these small titrations depending on news updates, network statistics and things like that. So I don't know where I was going with all of this. I guess part of it is just be open to learn, be flexible. But then, yeah, have your convictions, but understand why you have your convictions, if that all makes sense.
I think it does. I think it does. Um, but yeah, it depends on what is like your goal with this. I like to ask what are people thinking and why they're going into certain direction based on that.
Yes.
Myself, I'm always like trying to question my own thesis. Right now, I have to be honest with you. I don't have a Solana thesis because you mentioned
Fair.
gas fees, speed, uh, whatever. All of those features for blockchains, there are multiple blockchains now that can do that. So then again, you would have to question again, okay, but why Solana, really? Um, so it's like you might have a long-term thesis, but after
Mhm.
some time, the industry will evolve fast, and your thesis,
Yes.
you might have to, check that again if it makes
Adjust it
sense.
for sure. For sure. I guess that's actually one other thing that just popped back into mind to defend my Solana thesis is I've been working closely with a lot of Solana builders, and I think a huge part of my thesis goes down to the quality of person working in Solana and the visions they have and the character strengths that they have as well here. I Yeah, and yeah, I was just starting to question in my mind, is that a valid piece of data to kind of incorporate into a thesis? And I think it is, having a culture of reliable, trustworthy builders in a project is a huge win. I mean, you compare and contrast blockchains that we will not name, specific layer twos, maybe that we will not name, where the builders, the core builders on that blockchain aren't trustworthy. They are sketchy with their
Mm,
funds allocation and things like that versus one where it's the opposite. That can absolutely make or break a chain here as well. So yeah,
absolutely.
just another kind of perspective on things here to, not to fade human qualities.
Yeah, 100%. I think so too. Like if you have enough good people building on your chain, I think that that's enough.
Yeah,
Even, there might be some technical differences, but if you have someone that really has a shot on becoming a successful entrepreneur or building a startup, unicorn or whatever, then of course, yeah, the network behind it is going to become relevant for sure.
absolutely. Absolutely. Well, hey, Quantic, I wanted to, first of all, thank you so much for this conversation here. I always love connecting with you and having these conversations, especially live, is because I admire so much how you challenge my thinking. You push outside of the kind of the perimeter of my thoughts. And I think there's a ton of value in that here. You've definitely helped me connect some new dots, come up with some new ideas here. And honestly, you've made me a better investor. I'll tell you that right now. Thank you.
None of this is financial advice or anything. Thank you for the people that are watching today. I guess we were going to cover application built by Kobe. He's unfortunately not here with us. Probably we're gonna just check out the interface and talk about like the idea.
Mhm.
And leave the rest of the details for later. Today we have a sort of a little bit of a shorter space, I would say.
Yes.
But let's get right into the market update, Trav, because I want to know like is the end of the year? When are they cutting the rates? What's happening with the liquidity? What's going on with Bitcoin? And maybe you can tell me also if you have looked at the chart of Flare. I know that we have some people interested on that as well. So
Yeah,
let's
yeah.
get right into it.
Perfect. Also, just to share with you, I did get the Kobe's audio file converted and uploaded, so we can listen to Kobe chat with us about the fake decks here as well now. Also have the fake decks pulled up, so we can have a look at that later on as well if you'd like as well. But maybe to start off with, I will, yeah, let's pull up the on-chain data, complement of sentiment, and then we'll take a look to see what's actually going on right now on chain, and maybe get a better idea of what's going to happen next in within the next week or 2 weeks or a couple of months here. So I'm just going to share my screen. Here we go. Perfect. So right off the bat, we can see that, we're kind of, we're down, we're definitely like, we hit a new local top. Holy smokes. Words are very challenging right now, Quantic. Let me try that again. We hit a bit of a local top. So we were actually rising pretty nicely here. Um, yeah, like yesterday and then even partially a bit of the day before here. But man, what I can tell you right off the bat is things are very, very volatile. Usually when that happens with Bitcoin, is the next level volatility precedes really big moves. So it's kind of like a final shakeout before Bitcoin actually commits to a direction here. We are seeing higher highs and higher lows, although there's something in my gut that's telling me that this might proceed a dip, but that's just pure intestinal speculation here. So let's not put anything on that here right now. But let's have a quick look to see what's actually been happening here. So first of all, there was a huge, huge spike in transaction volume here at this last low on November, what is that, 25th, and that's actually really encouraging because that shows me that people really swooped in to protect this bottom. So that's when you see big distributions like this, and a lot of the volume comes in kind of at the lows. That's actually a really good sign. There's a theory called Wyckoff theory, and it speculates that when you have like these massive spikes indicate people like the big whales actually buying the bottoms, and buying the bottoms and buying the bottoms so that when price does start to go up again, they'll be in the green. So this so far is a good sign. We can see that here as well for the daily active addresses. Huge spike to protect that bottom here back on November 25th. Also very bullish here. So here's an interesting chart here. So this one here, we've seen it a lot on our channel here. This is the MVRV. This basically tells us how much profit or loss people have been in, who've been holding Bitcoin for X amount of days here. So we have two main categories. We have people who've been holding Bitcoin for 30 days, and we have people who've been holding Bitcoin for a year. Now, the people who've been holding Bitcoin for a year are in a significant amount of loss. So officially, if you've been holding Bitcoin for a year, you're and you haven't been like adding dollar cost averaging throughout the way, you're going to be at a pretty significant loss right now. Probably the heftiest loss you've seen in a very long time. What does all this mean? This is actually bullish. It's one of those indicators where the
Why?
lower it's we I'm trying to remember the exact phrasing that they use from the sentiment team here. So the more loss that a indicator shows, the higher the likelihood that price is going to reverse. And that's partly because of human psychology, partly just pattern recognition. We can actually see if we go back that the largest dips in these indicators more often than not, not all the time, but more often than not, the lowest dips marks a bottom in price action here. And so this is mostly for, when people get to be a certain amount of loss, when the loss gets so great, inevitably price, like things are going to start to reverse on that note. But then also, it's not as clear cut as other indicators. It's so like maybe I'll leave it as just like if well, it doesn't really matter why. What matters is that it consistently does. So maybe that's kind of the best way. But the opposite is true as well. The more profit people are in, the higher the likelihood that it's going to then dip. And actually, now this I'm getting the whole picture in my head. That's more likely because people are actually going to start taking profits. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does, but I would like to see how does that correlate with, let's say, macro indicators. Do we have any information about that that we can utilize on that terminal, or is like not like that? It doesn't work like that.
Macro indicators. Can you give me an example of what you mean? Is like
The money
macroeconomic.
supply for
The money supply, okay. Let's have a quick look here. I don't think I have anything like that. I'm just gonna scroll through. We got funding rates, that's not really money supply. We have whale transactions. Oh, wow, there's some big things that happen with whale transaction. We'll get to that in a sec here. Nothing really about supply that I could see here. Um, oh, no, that's on-chain total supply. Let's throw this up to here. Let's have a look. This doesn't really look like it's gonna tell us anything.
Yeah, and just for context,
No.
right now I just retweeted the post and people are starting to plug in, so maybe we want to provide some more context on what we are doing here, so that they know, um, what's going
Love
on.
it. Perfect. Excellent. To everyone just plugging in, welcome. Thank you guys so much for being here. Right now, markets are looking a little bit red, and we're trying to figure out exactly why. So, first of all, huge shout out to Sentiment. They've connected us with a membership to their flagship product, Sandbase, and it's a product that shows us exactly what's happening on chain. So we're taking a look at a couple of different indicators, and we're trying to figure out what's been happening and then what might happen in the next probably near future. Probably like over the next couple of days or weeks, kind of trying to get a good sense of, are we at a bottom? Excuse me, are we at a top? What's going to happen here? So, um, let's see here to get back to you there, Quantic. I don't say anything really about kind of money supply. Um, yeah, any kind of further thoughts on that before I get back to kind of going through the metrics that we do have?
Sorry, I missed you for 1 second. You were saying that you don't have that information, like, but any other macro parameter that you can. perhaps checking there, or is my question is if that platform only provides information like for traders, like the volume and all that, but also something that connects with what's happening in the economy in any way.
No, nothing really like that here. Um, yeah, I'm just taking one more quick look here. No, it's strictly on-chain data, not
Okay, so
necessarily any kind
then
of macro indicators.
I guess that the best proxy then to understand is what are whales doing. Do you have information about whales?
I sure do, my friend. Let's take a look right at it
Aha,
right now. So
there you
actually,
go.
this I do want to quickly touch on this one here. This is the funding rates. These ones are actually pretty telling as well. This basically tells us how long or how short on leverage do are people betting right now. And this one works in an interesting way. The more people are betting that the price is going to go down, the more likely the price is going to go up, and then vice versa as well. And I think the most important thing that I want to say about this one here is that people are now starting to bet pretty that short on the market, and this is actually a bullish indicator here. It's kind of split still. Like there are still a lot of people betting long, but the shorts are definitely coming in, and this is actually what we I like to see, and this is kind of what we need to see as well. So let's keep going down to check out the whales here, and this is very interesting. So November 25th, actually we could see that's when that massive on or the transaction volume absolutely bumped at that bottom here. Look at this. There's a huge amount of selling by some of the biggest whales that actually that are out there right now, which is wild. Like this is the biggest dip that I've ever seen by these whales in a very, very long time. Let's just pull up. Okay. So yeah, no, this is very interesting here. So I'm trying to get a sense of if this is bullish or bearish. But so what the next thing that we do, because it's kind of like all I can see is that there's a lot of big moves happening, but the big moves have already happened. And now we can see that the biggest whales are kind of starting to accumulate again, except for these ones here. They're definitely starting to dump. So a good way to look at this is take all of that data together and then look at it as one line here. And so this is the graph that we see from that. So basically all of the whales, the people who have the most amount of money, the people who have the most amount of Bitcoin, since November 20 what? Hold on, sorry. Since December or like yeah, since the beginning of December or November 30th, they've actually been accumulating again. So, to answer your question there, Victor, the whales are accumulating, which is very bullish. There's one more thing I do want to check here, and I want to add in that next tier of whales just to double check. Let's see here. Okay. So the next tier up, the whales who have up to 1 million Bitcoin, they're also accumulating. So this is bullish.
So okay, yeah. Now we're talking about something that I can relate more. Okay, so what is the conclusion of this according to your view, Trap?
The conclusion is the whales are scooping up Bitcoin, the whales are buying, and this is bullish.
I like it. It's like very simplified, but I like it. Like there is a lot of volatility. We saw that. So then we conclude that this might go up or down, obviously,
Yes. Yes. Might
rather
go up, might go
soon.
down. Yep.
Might go down. But then we look at the data from whales, and they're just quietly accumulating more.
Exactly. They're filling up their ports with some Bitcoin, and I love to see it. So this is
And
this
how
is
do you
awesome.
feel now? Because we started this space talking about, what do you believe in and how this correlates to Bitcoin.
Well, I'm feeling validated because the whales are also showing that they also believe and they won't stop believing in Bitcoin here as well because it's going to make them even richer. How do you feel about that?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely, man. The people who have liquidity have absolutely no issue playing this game with you. They have a lot of time, they have a lot of capital, and they have one simple thesis. is crypto going to grow? Yes or no? If the answer is yes, then you know what to do.
Yep, 100%. And what's really interesting about this is this would have been a really good sell signal. October 13th is when they started to sell. And if we go back to the actual Bitcoin chart, we take a look at what happened October 13th. This is when this marks a huge downside in the market. Like we can see Bitcoin went all the way from 120K all the way down to the lows at 82K. And now this has officially, the whales have started accumulating again. So this is like breaking news there, Quantic. This is a really strong indicator that tells us that we've seen the bottom locally, and it's not a guarantee, obviously, but I mean, this is like if history repeats itself, and it does all the time in crypto. This is a very very strong indicator that shows that yeah, we're looking pretty good right now.
Awesome. I'm so glad that we were able to, have this very open and transparent discussion, you and I here, based on data, based on simple facts, and provide that information to our community that are watching right now so that they can then make their own decisions and do whatever they want. Um, yeah, super happy about it. If you have any questions, if you're watching this, please make sure to leave some comments on the main post or perhaps on other platforms. We are right now streaming this trap to YouTube as well or Twitch, or what is the deal today?
All of the above, my friend. Yes, we got the
All of the
Web3
above.
Matters account on X. We got my account on X. We've got YouTube, and we have got Twitch as well. So to everyone watching on those platforms as well, appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much. And yeah, no, it's I'm happy that we've been able to actually drop some like legitimate alpha today. This is great news. There's one more indicator I want to see here. This is interesting. Mean dollar invested age. This is a huge cliff drop off here. I'm gonna have to double check to remember what this one is. Essentially, I think no, this is just from. Okay, never mind. You know what? I'm gonna ignore that one because I don't have the insight to really deliver on what exactly it means here. But this is the one that I want to see here. This is the weighted sentiment, and while it seems like a more um, objective indicator. The cool thing about this is that sentiment actually draws data from um, all different it draws it from X, it draws it from geez, I don't remember the other ones here. Reddit, a whole bunch of like predominant social media platforms where people are actually talking about crypto, and it consolidates all of that data and then makes us this metric here to show us, how bullish or how bearish are people. And this one's super powerful. Like they've done studies on this, and it correlates about almost 80% of the time. And what it tells us is the more bullish people are, like at peak bullishness, the likelihood that price is going to dip is like, yeah, pushing 80%. And then vice versa as well. When we're at peak fear, the likelihood that price is going to then turn to the upside is also pushing 80% here. And we can see back on November 23rd, 21st even, we can see how low the sentiment was. And this also supports that dip in price was a local bottom. So again,
Okay,
kind of bullish, I would say.
kind of, right? Kind of.
Yeah,
Very good. So, is there any other relevant indicator that we might want to check? Because if not, I want to do a short segue so that we talk about fake DEX and bytecoders and what this information that we're checking on the markets actually means or can be used for builders.
perfect. Nope, that's all I got. Let's jump into that.
Let's jump into that. Okay, so today we wanted to explore an application built by Kobe, which is called Fake Dex. Were you able to see the front end working already?
Yes, I can pull it up right here, actually.
Yeah, let's
Let's
do that. Let's take a look and see. I would like to hear like from your perspective, just from like let's do a sort of user study here, which
yeah.
means let's look at the app and what you can infer just based on the app.
Okay, so far I'm a huge fan that we're actually looking at the 1 second chart. So this chart updates with a new candle every single second. So for people who like to do like the scalping, like the really intense trading, this is for you. I absolutely would not want to get in onto this bet right now because it's going all over the place. But first, I think that's a huge win for this DApp. The fact that we can actually access the second chart. Actually, you know what? I'd probably bet short right now. I'm gonna bet that price is gonna start going down
You're
here.
gonna bet
Let's see if
short.
I'm right.
Okay, I'll bet long. So we will see within 30 seconds who was right.
Yeah, 100%. So first person, if we hit 320, then you're gonna win. If we're gonna hit 295, then I'll win. So can I put up lines on this? That's actually a good question here. If I could put a line on this, then that would be awesome. I kind
Yeah,
of like this
I don't
though.
think. Yeah, it's cool. Like Kobe did this. It doesn't make any sense. Maybe we can play the audio now. Do you think we will be able to hear it?
Let's try. Let's try. Hold up. Let me know if you
Yeah,
hear
because
this.
A good morning. I hope there's not too much background sound. I'm driving, man. This is Kobe. So sorry I couldn't make it to the stream today, so I'm recording this little audio clip. You're probably watching it with a backdrop of this new cool little dApp that I'm building called Fake DEX. All right? So,
Ooh, you won. Congrats.
tagline, backed by nothing, trusted by everything. What? Backed by nothing, trusted by everyone. And I'll get to the joke on that in a second. But basically, I built a high-frequency trading platform for fake money, kind of sandbox ERC20 tokens. Think of it as perpetual futures exchange, except everything is satirical, nothing is real, and you can't actually lose any money. Or make any. It's the degen experience without the financial consequences. So here's the concept. So basically, the joke is the currency, the stable coin inside the platform, is called fake USD, which is the whole premise is that it's a parody of the actual US dollar, you know? The thing that was backed by gold and then just wasn't anymore. So fake USD is the satirical stablecoin that's backed by nothing, trusted by everyone, which is basically the same thing as the dollar, if we're being honest. So anyways, we got a mascot, Victor Llama. He's kind of like your degenerate. He's an exiled economist, used to work on Wall Street, got exiled probably for doing too much cocaine and making too crazy of leverage degen bets. But think of him as like your degenerate central banker, and he controls kind of the chaos level, which I'll talk about a little bit later. So there's a few different tokens that you can trade. Pretty crazy tickers. We got shit, hodl, rug, cope, and FOMO, and this is just the beginning. And we'll anyways, here's the thing. The actual trading experience is legit. So it's not just like a meme. Well, it is just a meme, but you actually have, real-time candlestick charts, order feed showing bot activity and trades that are really happening on the back end. There's a leverage slider from 1x to 100x. You got stop losses, take profit orders, position tracking right there in the chart, like trading view style or, Binance style. And then liquidation price calculations. You got to be careful because the price is quite volatile on here. So, you get liquidated pretty easy. It actually works like a real perps platform. Prices are generated by this thing that I call the chaos engine. And it creates real candlestick patterns, candlestick data with configurable volatility, which I call the chaos level. So that's pretty cool. Right now it's like centralized, but it would be really cool to like do some type of, algorithm or randomization, maybe using like some type of on-chain random number generator, pump that number generator into like the n in a formula or just a variable in a formula. So that would be cool. But yeah, higher chaos means bigger wicks, more spikes, and more degen energy. And
Okay, I gotta pause that for now though, Quanta, because I unfortunately do have to wrap this up. But are you as impressed as I am listening to that? This is
Yeah,
this
so
is
let's
so
wrap
cool.
this up because at the end of the day, what we have here is like a very creative, crazy solution that doesn't make
Yeah.
any like business sense at the moment. However, it's so fun and engaging that you can easily put a real coin on a platform like pump.fun and actually start trading that with some bots and see what happens, right? And
Yes.
see the chart live and just watch the chaos. Maybe you lose everything, maybe you win everything. Maybe the point of the application is that you actually don't know and you're fine with it. Like you're just literally gambling and
Yeah.
maybe you win everything from everyone else that is participating, right?
100%, 100%. No, I think that's super cool. I'm like, my mind's kind of blown here. I love the name of the tokens here. It's so cool that you can see the buy orders, the sell orders, the bot activity, and all of that. And I could see like even just doing what we did here live on stream of betting that we're gonna hit one price versus the other. Congrats, by the way, you definitely won. That would be a ton of fun just doing that live. And I think there's a lot of room to grow this as well. Like add fun animations like if you hit one profit target versus another one, and I don't know, I can see having a lot of fun with this for sure.
For sure. And okay, to connect finally with our thesis, we talk about crypto is going to stay. We talk about how Bitcoin it would make sense and actually whales are accumulating. Now, what happens with the builders? If you're a builder and you believe you're going to stay and your assets are going to stay, then the question is, why aren't you doing something like this, right? With Vibe coding, we're teaching you each Friday about this stuff. And just go on mainnet, deploy, have fun with friends, and start telling the world about your work and the things that you're interested in and the things that you actually believe and can back up on chain. Anyways, those were my final words of inspiration, Swab. I know that you have to go, but it was a pleasure to have this short conversation with you today.
Quantic, this is the best. This is very reminiscent of our old school Web3 Matters days. We were just you and I have conversations. It's been a while, and it was great to get back to that here. So, yeah, no, everyone, hope you guys took some value away from this one today. I know I sure did. Definitely stay tuned for next week where we're definitely going to dive more into this fake DEX, and then definitely we got some other ideas brewing in the background here as well that we're excited to share with you. So yes, to everyone. And we actually have a decent amount of people with us right now. I just want to thank you guys for being here, for being a part of this conversation. Any feedback, let us know. Drop a comment under the actual live stream itself or drop us a DM. We'd love to hear from you. And until then, guys, have a wonderful weekend and we'll see you next week. Take care.